Okay, so today we're going to go and train lower body. And I've just been really excited that we are continuing the cut and just, committing to it because it has been going smoothly. We're already down, what is it? Another pound from last time I checked in. So in total, we were down 33 pounds. And just kind of realizing why I was debating, when we did reach our goal and our goal was like 30 pounds. And I was just like, oh, should we stop the cut? Because this is what the goal was. And realizing like why I was, hesitant. Because I think deep down I wanted to continue the cut because not only was it something that I thought was doable because of, where we were at. I was like, I'm not even really feeling that bad. Like, physically, mentally, I was like, I can keep going. But I feel like the reason why I was hesitating on continuing, maybe because like I was scared. I was scared that I wouldn't reach where I wanted to physically. Like, I was scared that when we continue, and I had this image in my head of like, oh, I'm going to look this certain way. I was scared that I wasn't, that I was going to disappoint myself. And that made me kind of sad because I'm just like, it's sad when we do that and we don't even follow through with something that we really want. Like we have these goals in mind and we get like halfway there and then we start to question, like, am I going to reach it? And the biggest reason why we stop is because we're scared of that we're not, and we're going to disappoint ourselves. Because when I reached my goal of 30 pounds, I thought I would look totally different. I thought I would look leaner, but I'm not. And I know it's the simple answer is like, yeah, I'm just not lean enough to be where I visually want to be. But it messed with me mentally. It messed with me because of my past self, of how I used to talk to myself. And it kind of made me feel like, yeah, you're not going to reach your goals. You're never going to look like that. You're probably not good enough. And it started to make me feel a certain way that I did start talking to myself like, well, and I had told you guys, I was like, well, we can reach this goal next year, maybe the following year, like it'll happen. And realizing that that answer is the safer answer. Like when you tell yourself something that, oh, well, I didn't fail because I haven't done it yet. And it's like, oh, well, I didn't reach my goal, of what I wanted to look because we haven't really tried it. Like we'll try it later, I'm putting it off. And when I started to be honest with myself and realize that's what I was doing, I I knew that I'm like, no, like I don't want to continue doing like following in those steps and being disappointed with myself and realizing like I need to give myself that chance. It's terrible when we want something and we don't even give ourselves that chance because we think we're going to fail. Because I'd rather us follow through with this and know that I at least tried. Because maybe, and like I think that's the nice thing about me sharing this with you guys, because I don't feel like I'm alone. Like I feel like you guys are going to be right there. Like if and I know I feel so silly being all emotional about this because I think because it's me speaking to my younger self, the younger self that I told myself that I wasn't good enough, that I'm telling her she is, like I'm telling her she can reach that goal that she wants. And I'm just like, I feel like comforted that you guys have been there every step of the way. And just knowing like when we reach there, whatever that may look like, that the whole reason of us doing that is just to prove to ourselves that, if you want something and if what's stopping you is because you're scared, then, then go for it, because at least you can tell yourself you tried. And I'd rather try my very best. And yeah, like a lot of the things that we do want in our life is unknown. Like you can set a goal and you don't technically know the exact outcome. And for anyone that has dieted before, like it is a commitment. And I think this is why do I want to make this commitment because of like what I want? Because it does conflict with when you go out with people, and I do have people telling me, oh, when's your cut ending? Like, are you not going to be able to go and have dinner? And like, just all this stuff. And I feel like, oh, well, what I want maybe isn't important. And just kind of like putting that in the back burner. And I tell you guys, like, we only have one life, and I want to like prove this to myself, and that's why I think that's why I'm just like so excited that I'm just decided like, no, we're going to continue the cut because I want to prove this to myself that, I know we didn't reach a certain point where I wanted to be, but it's not over, like I think that just like with anything, like you have these goals and like there's obstacles that come your way, and you can either decide like, oh, we're like halfways, but you're like, oh, there's more to do. Nah, I don't really want it. And realizing like you wanted this your whole life, like you're really just gonna give up just because you have to do it a little more. And that's what I'm telling you, because I'm like, I feel like I'm just talking to my younger self, because I used to see these girls with these crazy muscles, and I would be so inspired, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. And the first thing that will come to my mind is like, I can never look like that. And it hurt me because I had told myself like that for so long, and realizing like I have put in the work and the muscle is there, and the leaner we get, the more chiseled our physique's gonna look. Like I want to see the muscles that I worked hard for. I want to see, the time that I put in and me consistently putting in. And that's why, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm doing this for me. And I just also want to just be honest of the things that I also struggle with mentally, and telling you guys that, yeah, I am scared that I am not going to reach a certain look that I wanted. And I'm scared that I won't be proud. And realizing like, you know, I feel confident that, it's going to happen, because just these last couple weeks, I feel like that's why I tell you guys, I feel like we're in the middle. And it's sometimes those decisions when you reach a point where you decide to keep on going, and that's when you like kind of reap the benefits, or you reach a point where you're just like, it's, you know what, I give up. Like, you know what, I tried, I give up. But then it's like, well, did you really try? Because then if you did, then, I feel like some way you would reach your goal and you would be satisfied. And that's why I tell you guys, no matter the outcome of what, the end of this will look like. And I just feel like I'm going to be satisfied that I did try, when I reach that like spot where I'm just like, you know what, it's a decision that I want to continue doing, because I know that we're not done yet. And I know there's more that we can get out of this. And that excites me, because I have been seeing the little differences. And I feel like we are at that point where every little pound, I'm starting to see like new, cuts on my arm, or like just looking totally different. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So we reached that point where my body's starting to look different with like every pound. That's what it seems like to me. And it makes me excited that we didn't just stop. Because like I told you guys, I feel like me just stopping would have meant a lot more to me than you guys would have probably known. And that's why I was wavering. And I think mentally I didn't really process why until now, and realizing that I didn't know if I did. Like I think I was telling myself, you thought you were going to look this certain way, but you just aren't, because you're just not good enough, and you're never going to look that way. And I don't want to tell myself that. I don't want to tell myself you're never going to look a certain way, because I know we can. And that's the thing, is just like, like, I'm just excited. I'm excited. And I feel like, I'm being strong for my younger self that, felt like she wasn't strong enough. to believe in herself, because I feel like that's something that that's a decision you're gonna have to make every day, you know? And because there will be obstacles in your life that are gonna challenge you, and you're gonna have to be like, wow, do I believe in myself right now? Because everything always gets harder, you know? And there's never gonna be a time where you're just like, oh, I believe in myself, so you know, everything in life is going to be easy because I believe in myself. There are going to be times where you start to question yourself and what you're capable of, and just processing that and realizing when you make a decision, what that decision really means to you. And no one else knows what that means to you because no one's lived your life. And the things that you tell yourself can mean more to you than maybe to someone else, you know? And that's why, like, this cut's for me. I'm not doing a show. I'm not doing anything like that. It's just, I've always wanted this goal, and I had in my mind, and I never reached it because I didn't believe in myself. And I want to tell myself I believe in myself, and I know that we can reach it. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I just feel like it was an aha moment when I realized that's what was going through my head when we were deciding. And I feel like because of how you guys have been so supportive has made me be so kind to myself, and realize that, you know, I want you guys to believe in yourself. And those moments I question myself, I don't know, I think of you guys. I think of like how you guys always say, just like, you know, take it step by step and be proud of your accomplishments. And me being proud of my accomplishments does make me realize I am capable, you know? And I just appreciate you guys being so supportive. And like you guys tell me, I hope you guys tell yourselves those things too, that, you know, every little accomplishment, even if it's small or big, whatever that looks like to you, you did it. And that shows you are capable, and also like with the bigger ones too. And so it's just like taking all of that into consideration and being proud of yourself, because you being proud of yourself gives you the courage to do the things that are a little scary and you don't know what the outcome is going to be. So just wanted to share that with you guys, and it has given me like a peace of mind. And that's why I told you guys, like, I'm just really excited that we're moving forward, and you know, all that stuff. But we're gonna go ahead and train legs. Oh, my window's showing all those lines. Sorry, I hope that's not bothersome. But yeah, we're gonna go and train legs. I did work, I would say workout. Well, it felt like a workout. I worked in my backyard yesterday, so my legs are a little sore, which is a bummer because we're training legs today, right? And so we'll see how today's workout will play out. But yeah, I will go ahead and get ready, and I'll see you guys at the gym. Okay, we're doing our calves, and I can already tell my hamstrings are really sore because of, you know, working out, not working out, but working in the yard. So that's funny. I'm gonna have to work up to my working sets probably a little more than usual, because I actually don't usually get intensely sore when I work out. But that's why I tell you guys, depending on your circumstances, that also depends on like your warm up and what you're doing. So if you're like really sore and you're wanting to not jump into your working set, you know, you need to like work up to it, then do that. And because that's what I'm going to do today. So let's go ahead and do our last set and then see what's open. Okay, my little baby calves. Now, we just do calves the first thing, because I didn't work out my calves for the longest time. Honestly, maybe years in the beginning of our fitness journey. And, you know, now, I mean, I'm not surprised why they're not that big. They're kind of small. And I'm like, let me see if I can show you guys. And my insertion is so high. But these are just things, the insertions of your muscles, you can't change, but it is what it is. Like, you're not gonna have all the perfect insertions, but you know, you can't focus on the bad of your physique. There's also good parts that you're lucky that you're like, oh, I'm really glad that my physique does this or whatever, or looks this way. But anyways, you guys already know how I feel about my calves. Let's go ahead and let's see. We'll find something. So I'm like, the things we usually use are not open, but we'll find something, you know, kind of have to. Oh, okay, so this is my last working set, but if you guys have been following me along for a while, you guys know I kind of switched it. So I used to start with my leg press first and then did leg extensions, leg curls, but then I switched it and I kind of liked it that way. But you know, those machines, they're not open. So we're starting with this first and we're fine. I just kind of had to warm up a little more because my hamstrings were sore. But that's another reminder. Oh, hold on. I'm just making sure. That's another reminder. Just because you feel that, like, okay, us doing leg press and I feel my hamstrings doesn't mean this is a hamstring movement, you know? And I know, I feel like a lot of people get that confused sometimes. So find out what muscle group you're trying to work out and see what is best for that. Don't just go in blindly thinking, oh, well, that made it sore, so must be working that. You know, if you want to be in here more efficiently and doing what you need for your muscle groups, you know, I don't want you guys to be wasting time just going in blindly and just going off of, you know, just those things. I mean, we've advanced so much, so you can see what does work that muscle group and make everything more efficient. But anyways, let's go ahead and do the last set. And yeah, let's jump into it. The first set was hard. And maybe that's another thing I'm going to touch on, because I get a lot of people in the comments telling me that I'm not pushing hard enough. You guys, we're on a cut. I don't want to hurt myself. You know, we're not in a surplus. We're not trying to hit PRs. We're just trying to maintain the strength that we've, you know, we can. So I will push myself as hard as I can without injuring myself. And that's going to take you long, like that's going to be better for you in the long run, you know, than getting that extra rep and then hurting yourself. But, you know where you're at in your journey. I'm in my cut. I'm not really worried about hitting PRs. I'm just trying to push myself and all that stuff. But just wanted to touch on that too, because I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe these are the people that haven't been following along for a while, and you know, maybe that's why. But you guys already know that, so. Jeez, I feel like spit all over just because the way that like I breathe. Anyways, you guys probably know what I'm talking about, but okay. And that's the thing too. You know when you can't do another rep, and you know that. So it's like you're not hurting anyone but yourself. So do to the point where you know you could without hurting yourself. If I did another rep, I would have just been stuck at the bottom. And like I said, we might be pushing those limits when we're in the bulk, but right now we're in the cut. So let's not go crazy. You know, my energy levels are honestly pretty decent, and I'm grateful for that. but we're not going to be trying to aim for PRs. But I mean, if they happen naturally, for sure. Like you guys tell me when I'm bulking, you're just like, it'll progress naturally because when we're bulking, I'm like wanting PRs every lift. But you know, it'll happen if you're pushing yourself and you know your limits. Don't let people like tell you what your limits are. Because if anything, they're usually, you know, I don't know, making it lower than what it really is. So you're probably capable of more than they think. Okay, that was done. It's kind of funny. Actually, it feels kind of nice we got this done first. So like I said, if you have to switch things around for your mental aspect in your training, go ahead and do that. This was actually kind of nice to do first. And then we'll go ahead and do leg curls and leg extensions. Yeah. Okay. We are doing these after leg press. I forgot about these. Well, I actually remember them. I just forgot to tell you guys we're doing them. But make sure when you're setting up, set up when you buckle yourself in, like you do the motion and it feels good. You know, that way you know you're set up right. Before I used to not do that, and then when I would buckle myself in and go, I'd be like, oh, actually my footing doesn't feel right. So ever since I did that, then it just feels so much better. Whew. And then we're just like making sure we're really squeezing at the top. Because I don't know, the way this machine is built, at least in my opinion, I have to emphasize the squeeze more than I would on the Smith machine. I feel like on the Smith machine, it feels more natural and I don't have to overthink it. That's why I do prefer the Smith machine, but we only have two. So when that's taken up, I use this one. But you just got to tweak it a little bit so you can feel it the best with whatever machine you're using. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, those are harder just because my hamstrings are so fatigued. And, you know, maybe we'll talk about that later about when you're working out fatigued and stuff. Because me working in the yard is not a daily thing I usually do. So if it was, I don't, you know, we'll talk about that later. But anyways, now we have leg curls and leg extensions. And I kind of like this order. Huh. So a good workout so far. Okay, so doing leg curls, and as to no surprise to me, I am a little weaker because of how fatigued my hamstrings are. Okay, but I kind of like, you know, I guess mentally doing this and the leg extension last, and then we'll do our posing. So who knows, maybe because of these machines not being open, doing it the other way, we might continue doing it that way. But then honestly, whatever's open, you're just gonna have to, I guess, take, but, or do. Okay, but it's my last set. Okay, just leg extensions and then some posing. Sounds good to me. Okay, you guys, let's get these quads pumped so that they look good in the posing. Just because with me doing this cut, I just feel so flat. But, you know, just that little pump will hopefully make a little difference. So let's go ahead and finish strong. Oh. Okay. They feel good. It's so funny how us people that love the pain when you're lifting, like sometimes you're just gonna start laughing because it just feels so crazy. It's funny. It's funny because I know you guys are like this too. Okay, let's go and do some posing. Okay, now some posing. Woo. My quads feel really pumped. So either that really translates or they're so pumped that it's hard to flex it. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how it looks for you guys, but I don't feel like my legs are looking anything crazy. I don't know if it's because they're like pretty pumped or I don't know. I'm just looking them right now and I'm just like, yeah, but it's probably just me. Okay, so hamstring. That one's tricky. Oh yeah, and then our glutes. Whew. So I like doing my lat spread too on back days because I want us to have, or at least observe proportion wise. Because one thing I was really hoping for is that my lower body didn't shrink too much because I told you guys I carry a lot of fat in my lower body. So when we were doing the cut, I knew it was going to shrink a lot. And for me, proportions is like the ideal way for your body to like hold on to things. So I wanted my lower body to still have that nice, mass, I guess, compared to, I guess, not having it. Trying to like say my words more because yeah, I'm tired. But I just want us to have the proportions, so that's why us doing that lat spread, I wanted to compare how my lower body is compared to my upper body and all that stuff. So I feel like that's probably why I do all the poses when we do lower body, because to me, if my lower body can still hold, visually when we do this, then that's good. Like I'm happy about that. So that's the goal for me. And hopefully, later on when we get towards the end, that will still translate to some extent. But we'll do this one. I kind of like this one. Like I said, when we did this one last time, I was like, I don't know if I did it right, but I think I did for a split second. Because that one's hard. Okay. What else do we got, you guys? We did the glute pose. And that's another thing. I already feel like my glutes kind of looking not as plump, kind of, looking a little flat. Like that's how I'm seeing it. But they have come a long ways. If I have a picture, I'll put it up here for you guys can see how flat my glutes were and where they are now. And I think that's why I'm saying, like, take these progress pictures, take these videos, so that way you can still appreciate how far you've come. Yes, maybe it's not our ideal, spot where we want to be yet, but I feel like sometimes we're never going to reach that because we're always going to strive to get better and better and better. And that's fine, but enjoy the process, enjoy how far you've come. So you guys can see how my glutes were like literally almost, like almost like going into like my back. Like it was almost like one slab. You'll see it. And I'll find the picture. Even though I feel like back then I would delete anything that I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I look really bad. But I still think I have some. So we'll look at that. I think we got some good, got some good shots. So I'll see you guys in the car. Okay, we're back home, and I know the picture I used to show you guys the example of where my glutes were before is probably kind of blurry and really cropped. I actually had to go back in my Instagram and get it from one of my posts like way back because I didn't have it saved on my phone. But I'm glad that I still have it on my Instagram, and I'm glad that I put it up because I feel like me putting that up was probably really I don't know, like embarrassing because it's like that's how bad my glutes were. And I think that's why I have a lot of my past pictures deleted because I'm like, oh, I just look so bad. I don't even want to look at that or anything. And now I'm just like, man, like I wish I kept them because it's just proof to show me like how far I've come instead of being embarrassed and feeling like, I guess, ashamed that I've let my body look a certain way at one point, like realizing like where I am now, what I'm doing now, that's what matters, like wherever you were or started, it's, at least what you're doing now, like that's what matters. And to look back and just realize the difference that you consistently putting something into in the time that it'll make. And that's why I never let anyone tell you like you don't even look that amazing because first off, they don't even know where you started, like because I personally don't think, like I tell you guys, I don't think my physique looks anything amazing. I don't feel like, I would like turn head or something. Like if I saw where I am now, but I just knowing where I started, like I'm so proud of that. And you guys should be too. And that's why I tell you guys, take those pictures, take those videos, because at the end of the day, it matters how far you've come, and not really trying to compare yourself like, oh, but I don't look like this person. I don't look like that person. But it's like, do you remember like where you used to look and like how you look now? Like, that's amazing. Like, it's honestly amazing. Like, it's crazy. And I feel like it's easy to look at someone else and compare. I think we all do it. I mean, I do it too. I'm just like, man, like what am I doing wrong? But it's like, well, look, like look how you were in the past and look where you are now. Like you're doing something that you're progressing, you're looking better. So it's not that you're doing something wrong. It's just that, maybe it's going to take you a little more time because of where you started. You didn't have that base of like, oh, maybe that person actually did sports and then now they started lifting weights and now they, look a certain way, but we all start somewhere. And I guess I'm saying like us having these before pictures is really helpful because I think it kind of just reminds us that and not trying to say like, oh, but I don't look like this, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about because we all do it to ourselves. And with me talking about that, about, the journey of lifting and getting better, that's what I want to talk to you guys about, like feeling fatigued because how I said I was like, oh, my hamstrings were really sore from working outside. I'm using that as an example to talk about like your training, to like put it in a perspective. So some people are trying to like, they're not seeing results. And I think the easiest way to like know if you're putting on, muscle and you're improving in the gym is if you're getting stronger with your lifts. Not, going to the gym feeling like you're getting weaker because you keep working yourself. Like, if you're working that muscle group maybe 3 times a week and you're just like, well, the more I work it, the better it's gonna look, right? But you're going into the gym feeling super sore and you're not getting stronger because that muscle is like, not able to recover. And I guess I'm just saying, just a rule of thumb, if you're not getting stronger and you probably are overtraining, or there may be other factors, because I don't know what your lifestyle is outside the gym, but just for someone that I'm thinking is like an average person that, drinks enough water, goes to sleep, is very active in the gym, maybe, doesn't have like a crazy, because I know some people that actually have a very physical job and it does affect their fatigue for the gym. So those are other things like they have to be more kind to themselves because, it's their job. They really can't change that. So for those that don't have a very physical job and you're getting weaker in the gym, maybe look at your training. Maybe you are overtraining and try to, I would say try less in the very beginning and go from there. But I'm just speaking from my experience because that's something that I did. I think I was overtraining, like in the, yeah, kind of in the beginning and the middle or whatever of my journey, and realizing I didn't need to be doing that because I wasn't getting stronger, and then realizing like me kind of like taking away how many times like I hit that muscle group in a week, I was getting stronger because my body was able to recover, and I was like, that was like physical proof of that, So that's what I'm just saying. Try it out if that's something like, because I don't know, to me, I feel like that's just like a little thing you can tweak that will make a huge difference, is the amount you train with that muscle group. Because I think if anything, you guys are honestly surprised with how little I train, because I'm not doing like 10 sets, or I'm not training, my glutes 3 times a week or something like that. But if you're getting stronger and you're performing correctly with the lifts that you're doing, you're going to see results. But that's what I'm saying. Like, try it out yourself, see what that looks like for you, because we did change my approach to lifting when I did document like me, working out with you guys. That's actually the time I kind of changed things, and I was getting stronger. But, I'm still pushing myself hard. If I get stronger, even during the cut, I'm going to go for it. But, I've told you guys, there's always that happy medium because you don't want to injure yourself, go hard. And if you get stronger, you naturally get stronger. You're not going to like tell yourself, oh, I'm lifting more. Let me stop there. No, like if you can, do it. But these are all things that you're going to experience and see for yourself. And that's why I just love being like honest through us lifting with you guys, because this also helps me look back being like, oh, okay, this is how I trained and this is how I was feeling. And this is, how I was performing, all that stuff. So that's why if you guys hear me like saying things or repeating myself, it's more of like an easy way to document the whole journey, honestly. So I just really want to emphasize that I feel like it's very easy to overtrain because you think, oh, the more I do it, like the better results I'm going to get. But that's not necessarily true. What do they say? Less is more. And kind of in this instance, it's kind of true. Like, perform as optimal as you can, making sure you're pushing yourself. Because another thing I feel like people, don't really know, like that intense, like, oh man, like that was a solid 8 reps. And, it's weird. It's weird because I get mixed comments in the comment section, someone telling me that I don't push myself hard enough, and then people telling me I push myself too hard. So that's why it's like, you can't just take what people say. You have to consider what you're feeling and what you feel like is showing your results. Because to me, I'm just like, well, no, I feel like those are solid reps. Like I really feel good in those reps. And, or me, like, I guess those grinders, I'm just like, no, like they were solid. And that. And then the more you lift, the better you're going to understand your body and how it performs. But yeah, I just know there's a very common thing for people to overtrain and to also like just feel like more volume is better. And if you guys have any questions about that, if you're maybe a little confused what I'm trying to say, like just ask me in the comment section. Maybe I can go a little more in detail or give examples of what I'm meaning. I'll go ahead and end it there. And yeah, I want you guys to like start seeing the results, putting that, because it's you putting that hard work in the gym. Like it's rewarding knowing that you're starting to see the results within yourself. And I just want you guys to, and if there's anything that you feel like, oh, I actually feel like I have been overtraining and feeling achy, and yeah, it's been feeling terrible, like, well, I don't want you guys to be doing that if you don't have to, because I've talked about that too, but that's been like way past videos where I talked about when I was overtraining, I always felt achy, like it was terrible. And now I don't feel like that at all. And I was like, I'm getting stronger, and like, it's just very interesting to like literally see my body react that way. When we were always told, oh, do more volume, do more of this, and you're going to see better results. And realizing the studies that is not the case. But that's why I tell you guys, you try it yourself. You will see yourself instead of what people say. Do it yourself and see what happens. But I'll go ahead and see you guys for the next video. And yeah, I appreciate you guys and thank you for watching.